Well, hello and welcome to the most generic podcast on the internet. My name is Josh Hawks. I am the 303 Ninja. And right over there, he is my podcasting partner for life. He is the other guy, Mr. Francis Fernandez. And right over there next to him is our other good buddy. And he's the host of Super Geeked Up, Mr. Jeff Burns.
Hi, thanks for having me back.
Well, we have to finish the thing. You know,
the thing is very important.
We have to finish the thing that we started the last episode because it just wouldn't be right if not.
Yes, the amazing bracket, Pluto bracket.
Yes, Pluto. We're into old shit too. Haven't heard from them yet.
I know
their lawyers or
any day now.
Their lawyers or representatives asking us not to. Bring up their name or use their brackets, so I think we're okay. I think that means that PlutoTV is now our friends.
Oh, good. Well, it was bound to happen eventually, so that's good.
You know what else is eventually bound to happen, Francis? There's a couple things. One leading into the other. We've been here since December talking about my issues in the world of car shopping, purchasing, getting into wrecks, and then waiting to make another purchase again. This past weekend, I made a purchased basically the same car I had before. So, you know, I just want to say, sometimes in some situations, it pays off to be incredibly persistent and stubborn. I don't really know.
This is good.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes those two together don't always, mean good. But sometimes, and I guess you throw in a pinch of patience as well.
Oh, I like that. A pinch of patience.
A pinch of patience.
It's like you're cooking something.
Stubbornness and whatever the other word I said was. You mix all those together, and sometimes you end up persistence. You end up with the thing that you wanted the entire time, in this like really tasty cake.
You got a new model, a newer model, right? This time?
I got a newer model of the car that I had before, and so I mean, like, everything worked out great. And there was something. Oh, so the thing that you mentioned, brought up the whole thing, Francis, is that it was inevitable that by purchasing the vehicle that I purchased, why am I being kayfabe? I got a Honda Civic hatchback. By joining the Honda Civic Club, apparently by just owning one, it was inevitable that I was going to run into another member somewhere. And at the old grocery store, I come out of the grocery store and there's a 2022 Honda Civic parked right next to me. And this person is walking closer and closer to me, and I realize, holy shit, he's in his early 20s, and he's going to talk to me. And we talked about our cars. And all we did was just jerk each other off in the parking lot of a grocery store. It was total mutual masturbation. And I realized that it'd been 20 years since I've done this. And Jeff's gone. Jeff was so offended.
He's like, oh.
And he's back.
I dropped out when it was and I lost it.
It was too much for fucking your area's internet to handle. But yeah, it was funny, and I was just like, this kid's 20 years old. It's been 20 years since I've been so happy about a car that I have to talk to somebody about it. And it was a funny interaction, and I guess I'm part of the club now, so I gotta. I think now, because I'm part of the club, I think I have to start an Instagram page like dedicated to my car. right? Isn't that what the kids
yeah.
do or
Oh,
something?
yeah.
Which was funny. He said something to me, and I don't remember what I said. I was like, "Look, man, I know I'm not 20 years old, but this is a fresh car."
Some people look. Not every, car people are interesting because they do. I knew someone who weekly would take a picture of her car, and she would just constantly, every week, post a new picture of her car. I'm like, I know what your car looks like. You don't have to post a new picture of your car every week.
Mm-hmm.
But she loved her car so much that she would post a picture every single week of the same exact car, just in different angles, right? Different
Right.
angles, maybe in a different location. And it's just like, yeah, this is so cool. And it's like, I guess.
Look,
Uh-oh.
what?
We were offline for a second.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't worry, keep going.
Okay. What didn't say anything on my end? But no, I've already been to the car wash. I haven't taken too many pictures. But I have already, made slight adjustments to the car, just to make it mine. Plus,
Man.
I ordered all this shit for the first Civic I had, and I never got a chance to put them in there. So what happened? I guess we dropped for a second, listeners, mate. But I've had all these lights sitting on my shelf over here since I had the first car. So I'm glad that I have something to put it in now. I have contacted somebody I know and who has experience with building roll cages. And I said,
wow.
"Hey,
Okay.
how would you feel about building an exoskeleton for a Honda Civic?"
Oh, jeez. Oh, you better pay this guy.
I mean,
you want to be like taking this off road? Is that what you're planning?
no, I just want to protect it from getting hit by anything. And I figure if, you put an external roll cage around it, that there's less likelihood of something. You're walking around and basically I'd put shrink or bubble wrap around it, so it looked fashionable.
No, do what Keaton did. Michael Keaton, aka Batman, was just talking to his fob, say shields, and then the whole thing would just go over it.
All right.
If you recall from Batman Returns,
Yeah, 89.
that's how he protects it from the
whatever.
penguin.
That's right.
Well, if you got a roll cage, though, man, you got to start getting into some like adventures and like high speed chases and stuff, and action scenes.
No, he just prefers to watch the high speed chases. He's not much of a.
All right. I mentioned to Francis a few weeks ago that I watch a hell of a lot of chases out of the LA area, specifically out of a Fox affiliate that he is very familiar with. And I don't know if Francis believed me or not. So I took a screenshot of my phone because the Fox affiliate's YouTube page is now, I've watched so many videos on this, so many high-speed chases live that it just lets me know now. I don't even have notifications turned on for this channel, but it just, apparently now it's just pushing stuff to me. And I took a screenshot and I showed Francis. I'm like, look, man, high-speed chases are fun.
You just like watching high-speed chases?
Yeah. I have nothing even funny to say about it, or like.
But are they actual high speed chases? Like not the OJ chase, right?
I mean, that was fun to watch too. I watched that shit live.
That's like a very slow speed chase.
That was a slow speed chase. That had its fun too, because it had like an entire police precinct behind it.
Yeah, but yours are actual, like they're actually going, 100 miles an hour or whatever.
Yeah, these guys, most of the chases, if they're gonna televise them, which I imagine they do in that local area, but a lot of these
They televise every chase. It doesn't matter how fast the chase. They televise every chase.
Okay, well,
because it happens so often. It's just like, here's the weather and here's the local chase. It's happening right
right.
now.
Well, back in the day, when I say back in the day, late 90s, there was a pager service that would alert you to whenever a chase was televised and let you know what channel, what affiliate it was on or a channel, and you could, I guess, subscribe to this service, and it would, let you know.
That's so weird.
Yeah. I mean,
hello, Tammy in the chat, by the way. She says she has 2 Chevy Impalas with V6 and great horsepower. That's a classic car, right? The Chevy Impala. It's like
it depends. It definitely depends on. Well, I mean, they're all classics now, basically. Even the quote unquote newer ones are 20 years old, I think now.
Are they really?
I don't know.
Wow, I didn't know that. I didn't realize they're that old. They're that it's been that long.
What's the supernatural car? Is that like a Dodge Charger or something, or something else?
Charger. Yeah, it's a Charger.
No, is it?
Or is it a Chevy? Is it an Impala?
I thought it was an Impala.
Is it an Impala? That's what.
Oh, it is. It's a Chevy Impala. It's a 1967.
I don't
Chevy
even watch
Impala.
the show.
Yeah, I guess that's what made me think of it. She said Chevy Impala.
There
you go, Tammy. You can pick up the Winchester boys.
I was gonna say, is it a 1967 Chevy Impala? Because the Impalas here have the what is it, like the bed? It has like the truck bed. That's the kind of Impala you see.
Oh, I don't like those at all.
Yeah, well, that's the kind you have here.
I hate that style.
And of course, they all have like the 6-inch wheels, right? Because they have to be really tiny, and they're all on hydraulics, right? And they bounce the entire length of Wilshire Boulevard as they play some type of very loud reggaeton or something.
Oh, God.
Francis, you remember in San Diego, Balboa Park, we went to that auto museum, and they had all those crazy cars like that?
Oh yeah. Oh man.
I mean, they had plenty of other cars, but some of the cars, they had the whole section of like the hydraulic.
Just the low rider section.
Yeah.
The low rider, yes, the low rider.
I remember saying to Francis, like, "This is so dumb." Francis was trying to explain, I think, why it was cool or something.
Well, see, and I would have been. See, if I was there, I would have been like, you guys go look at your car from the whatever 70s TV show. I'll be over here with these guys here posing menacingly with the cars.
With the hydraulic ones?
Yeah, you gotta take pictures like you're taking a photo for an album in front of every car.
Well, yeah, of course. I like the more classic cars. That's why I like looking at it.
I mean, they are. I mean, a lot of them that they turned into those hydraulic cars are classics at this point.
Well, yeah, it's just that they're
a more traditional classic car, classic muscle.
Long Beach on a Sunday. Come to Long Beach on a Sunday morning, and you'll get your fill of Impalas with the with the bed and the hydraulics and the loud music, and you're sad.
Well, after just seeing one of our mutual friends just having driven back from the LA area back to my area.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. She came home.
She came home, and after seeing the tweet stream of agony of driving back, no, I'm good.
Well, it was to drive from California to Colorado. It's like a 20-hour drive, something like that.
Depending on where, but you can do it in 18.
Where in LA? Is that where?
Yeah, from LA. It's from the Valley to
Denver to LA. You're saying?
Yeah, essentially. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you could do it in 18 if you pushed it, but that's like that's pushing. I mean, that's like multiple drivers and peeing in bottles.
Well, yeah. No, you get the.
Why would we hear the George Lopez song, which Lister's mate says in the museum?
Because I think it's low rider. I think it's low rider. I think that's the George Lopez song.
He has a new show, The Lopez or something, like with it's him and his daughter.
Well,
or his TV daughter.
He's
reprising
the
his
uncle
role
in Blue Beetle, so he's getting around again. Yeah.
Well, good for him.
Yeah.
I saw part of the trailer for that when I went to see a movie yesterday, but I missed most of it, so I'm gonna have to look it up online.
Oh, what'd you watch?
Super Mario.
Oh.
Almost like you were doing the impression for a second.
Oh, what do you
Oh,
think?
Mamma Mia! I didn't want to bring it up because I did not really like it, and I know you love it.
Well, look, the vast
I think it was
majority.
okay. It was okay, but
Yeah.
it was very forgettable for me. It was just, I think it felt like a lot of nostalgia, and that was it.
Look, you're with a bunch of critics. Again, the vast majority of critics hate this movie. While,
I don't hate it, but it was fine. It was Mario, but didn't really do anything for me,
yeah.
Well, I don't know if you got the email, Francis, and I don't know if it was because I have talked about it so much, but I was invited to early access to go see Attack of the Doc.
What the hell is that?
What is
Yeah,
it?
I don't know
The
what
Chris
that is.
Gore, the Chris Gore Attack of the Show
Doc as a
documentary.
doctor, or like
No.
they don't like ports.
No, do you remember? Do you remember the
Attack
show?
Of the Doc, right? Because Attack of the Show.
Do you remember Attack of the Show? Well, they made a documentary called
Yes.
Attack of the Doc.
About Attack of the Show?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
oh, very nice.
I
was a big
received
fan of Attack of the Show.
I received access to the early screening if I felt like flying out to LA. They were like, here's a ticket. All you gotta do is come out here.
Can I be honest with you, Josh? I delete all of the press stuff that I get. I never read the press stuff because I'm like, I don't do press. Like I don't write about trailers, and I don't like watch early screenings. Like I don't care. So I just delete. Like,
It's
yeah,
fair.
okay.
It's fair.
Yeah.
But
That's
it
really
is
cool, though.
it is out there for
Yeah.
consumption. I did not take advantage of it just because I just bought a car and it was that's a frivolous thing to spend money, not to fly out to LA, but to gain access to it, early access to it. That's frivolous. That can wait. But it is out there for consumption if anybody wants to see it. Commercial over. I don't know. What else happened?
I'll watch it.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm totally
curious.
gonna. You can get it VOD right now, through like Vimeo or something
I
like
enjoyed. I don't know if it was a year or two ago at this point, but they did a reunion
that.
special. I
The
enjoyed
reun-
watching that.
The reunion special was really fun. And then the relaunch of the network wasn't.
Did that actually happen? Because that's what that reunion was for. But I
Correct.
never heard anything else about the actual relaunch.
Oh, it happened. And
That's
it's
a
done.
That's the whole thing.
Yeah,
The whole thing.
Oh my god, they did it and then it was over with already?
It rose from
Yeah.
the ashes like a phoenix, and then was it immediately extinguished and fell back down to the ground.
Yeah.
Was it called G4 still?
Yeah.
Mhm.
But wait, where was it actually launched on? Was it on a certain network? Like
It was,
Sci-Fi
wasn't
had
it?
at one point.
It was
Was
it
What was it on?
well, I don't know because I only watched
Or was
it
it
live.
its own like internet channel?
I watched it live
Well,
on.
they had a Twitch channel. They had a YouTube channel.
But it wasn't on an
They-
actual
It was
network?
on terrestrial
What?
cable, but I do not recall what channel. Fubo, Fubo.
Fubo is one of the internet streamers.
So I believe it was on. Okay, it was there, but it was on a terrestrial cable network as well. And I think it was under the
By
G4.
terrestrial, you mean like the ones you get on actual cable, like A&E, those
Right,
those things.
right, like a some sort of cable service, not a satellite service, a cable service.
I mean, I have the internet. I should just really look it up real
Well,
quick. But
Did they bring back Attack of the Show?
They did. Kevin Pereira came back, and the idea was for him to come in, help relaunch. And he said it from the very first show. I'm here to help relaunch this show, get find the right people for this show because Attack of the Show was his baby. He took it over from the hosts that were before. And
He took it for Chris Hardwick. That's how I know Chris Hardwick for beginning originally.
the whole thing was to find new hosts for the show, and he would back out. And
what's funny was, Jeff, didn't you and I talk about like
I brought
doing
up to you because they had a call out,
mhm.
and I asked Franz at one point, like, "Oh, should we like send them some demo stuff to like for host?" And I'm glad we did. But I also decided like they're gonna fucking want like young hip people for the show, and
they were all influencers. They were all like Twitch streamers.
One was a wrestler.
I figured it would be a waste of time.
Yeah.
Well, and the reunion, who was the wrestler? He was like supposed to be one of the
Kofi, not Kofi King. I'm drawing a blank on what his
the other
name
guy.
is right now. Austin Creed.
Yes, yes.
Or it's not.
He's actually the main guy on the WWE 2K23, which I'm playing. He's like kind of the main host of that.
Oh,
well,
like
telling the players how you do things.
There was a WWE owned YouTube channel called Up Up Down Down that he was.
That's why he has it on his shirt. Up Up Down Down. Okay.
So he's like the forerunner of that channel, and when they shut the channel down or something, but like a lot of fans were like, "What the hell? What's your problem? You can't get rid of him." But I guess I don't know. I don't know what happened with that.
So G4 came back, and you're saying like within months, basically it ended again.
It lasted a year.
Yeah, about a year.
Yeah.
And I tried to watch every episode of Attack of the Show, but it kind of got like to the point where do you remember the old format where they would do Around the Net and they would show you like the top 3 to 5 funniest videos of the day of the internet that day? That became like an hour-long segment or half the show because they would do 3 or 4 or 5 videos with one co-host, and then that person would leave, and then Kevin would bring in another person, and then they would banter back and forth between the next set of videos, and then the co-host would walk off, and they bring in another kid.
So they didn't do different actual segments?
They tried at first to basically do old G4. And I think it was the first episode, they talked about NFTs in a segment that would have fit in the old version of G4 if NFTs existed then, like how they presented you information. But like as soon as he started talking about it, I guess their chat rooms were just filling up with people like, "Stop fucking talking about this, get to something funny, yada yada yada, whatever." So I think they just hit a lot of issues immediately. There's a different audience showed up. What are you laughing about?
That was probably it. Yeah, it was
a different audience, and they had their own D&D show for a while. They had like, they tried to cater to what they tried to do as a channel, and apparently they had it just said that they had their own channel. Their own network, a G4 network that was on cable. So it wasn't like they were a part of any network. They were their own network on a channel.
They said it went off the air 1 week short of being on for a year.
Yeah. And there's a lot of speculation as to why they didn't last the year, but I'm not going to get into that. All I know is that they tried to compete with what's already available, right? Like G4, there's already people who review video games. There's already people who review the internet stuff. There's already people who do all of this stuff for not for free, but with no production value,
right?
with no cost, no overhead.
Well, first off, hello, Puma Man, Michael. Thanks for watching.
Hello, man.
Oh yes.
You know what? Maybe the issue is that back. What I want to say, what was it like? Late '90s, early 2000s? Is that G4 era? Original G4?
2014 was the last episode of G4.
When did it start?
G4, the channel.
I have it because it started in 2002.
Okay.
Back then, so you're talking about 21 years ago, right?
Yeah.
So back then, right? They were maybe, I guess, kind of on the cutting edge, right? There weren't a ton of people maybe at that point doing what they did, right? So they were kind of very fresh and different. And now, like you're saying, there's thousands, tens of thousands of people doing what they're doing.
Yeah, I was actually really upset when they turned to G4 because they were originally
Tech TV.
Oh God, Tech TV. Yeah, and when they were Tech TV, I'm like, I like Tech TV. I like the internet stuff. I like that they talk about technology like this. We're like all the really geeky like tech stuff. And then they got rid of it for memes and all that type of stuff. And I got really upset. G4 took over. I'm like, oh, my nerd stuff. I don't want this.
But it was nerd stuff still.
I know, it was a different kind. It was different kind. It was in line with my nerd stuff. Like, it wasn't like different from my nerd stuff, but I wanted the hardcore, like, tell me about the latest CPU. Tell me how fast the Pentium. Did they not do
that? Did they not have one show about that? No.
They phased it out, and Tech TV became CNET. So CNET.
Yeah, there you go.
So CNET grew out of that. and then G4 became like stunts and like segments, and Olivia Munn jumping into a pool of pudding and in her maid outfit, right? Like that's where it become. I wasn't angry with that. I just wanted my nerd stuff. I just wanted my nerd stuff back.
When we're done, Francis,
bring back the screensavers.
It's
screensavers.
just because Olivia
holy
Munn.
Shit! Talk about the Wayback Machine. When we're done, Francis, I will send you a link to a YouTube channel that has every episode of Attack of the Show from its beginning, so it still is.
Oh, I have. You gave it to me actually.
Okay,
you showed it to me when we went to the Attack of the Dock. Yeah.
The first block of episodes is basically screensavers on a new set.
Yeah, I know. I wanted screensavers and the help desk and all that dumb stuff that they used to do back on Tech TV. Anyway,
I mean, one of the first episodes, they literally talk about, well, what'd you do this weekend? Oh man, I was checking out these websites and because the internet was new and exciting to everybody still, so people were really excited about websites that they found.
Yeah. It says the new G4 was funded by Comcast and Dish Network.
Yes, it was an NBC affiliated show in the very beginning.
Yeah, NBC Universal, and then then it all fell apart, as things typically do.
Like I said,
that's too bad.
It's a discussion for another time because poor G4 didn't have a chance.
Yeah, we talked about the whole time that they were around. We talked about them, and man, it just didn't last. We lasted longer than G4.
They needed Super Geeked Up on there. They needed POI on there. They needed Art of the Roll.
That's true.
Exactly.
That's true. It's hard to argue. That's hard to argue.
We could have been it. We could have been.
Could have made it. Special.
You could be the next Olivia Munn.
There you go.
Exactly. You would look great in a maid outfit.
Francis is Asian, like Olivia. That's part Asian. So there you go. And you put him in a maid outfit. Yeah.
Yeah. I think my boobs are as big as hers. Yeah. Pretty sure.
Well, speaking
of
go boobs,
topless for Magic Mike, but yes.
Dude, I was excited, man. That's the first time I had seen her naked.
That's true.
Because the Playboy issue of her I got, she's not naked in it. I'm like, what the fuck is this shit?
Well, Playboy for a while went.
No, but that's the way before that happened.
Oh, gotcha.
But wait a minute, are you saying Playboy? I was just thinking about this. Playboy is back to nudity now? I thought they had gotten rid of that.
Yeah. They're like, oh yeah, this isn't selling. We should go back to what we do the best.
Thank goodness. Because I was like, what's Playboy? It just because I was wondering how. This is so weird. I was literally thinking about this yesterday. How is Playboy still existing if they don't have nudity? I'm like, did people really? They did read it for the articles. They weren't lying about that. Like.
They used to. They actually did used to have like really groundbreaking articles. Yeah,
that's true.
And then now they're just.
And I don't think that's the main reason people picked up the magazine. It was kind of a bonus.
No.
Well, once the other pages stuck together, you still had something to look at.
Is that what you were talking to that guy about?
Yeah, I was going to say, after talking about some civics.
While you were jerking each other off, you were like, did the pages in your magazine get stuck together?
Well, the owner's manuals,
Yeah.
That's why you have
all
those owners. That's why you
Playboy stopped nudity. I started looking at the owner manuals and those diagrams of those girls driving, those stick figures.
That's why you have to meet other owners of the same vehicle you own, because... your pages 9 and 10 might be stuck together, but his might not be.
That's true. I'll reiterate. I must not. You think, the only people I've ever talked to that ever wanted to talk about my car was like they say the same thing over and over again. Oh, I really wish I got a Mini Cooper. How are they? Is it nice? And it's like, yeah, go get one. Don't
try to, just because it's burnt orange, don't try to emulate the General Lee.
It's not burnt. Nah, it's not burnt orange. Yeah.
Doesn't work.
Yeah. It's pumpkin orange. Thank you very much.
Whatever. That sounds a lot better than burnt orange.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Do you ever eat pumpkin pie in your pumpkin orange car?
I wish.
I love pumpkin pie. I would like to do that.
Well, I'm not gonna have. Hopefully, I hope to not have this car very much longer. So
because you want to get a new car.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, because my car is falling apart. Oh yeah, it's hanging on by a thread.
And then when one of the people in the circle gets a car and is all excited about it, like it just fuels the need to get another car.
For speed.
The need for speed.
The need for speed as well.
Yeah.
You know, what is one of those things? Don't covet thy neighbor's shit. Right?
Okay.
Isn't that one of the commandments?
Yeah, but I'm not coveting anything.
No, but like you want to do that because that's what keeps the economy moving.
All right. Anyways,
Tammy, by the way, says her classic car is a '79 Monte Carlo. That's cool.
Oh, that's nice. That's a nice land yacht.
Oh man.
Yeah, you can get in.
Again, I'm really easy.
You can get in an accident in that car and not even realize that you're in an accident in that car because there's 18 feet of steel in front of you.
That's what I loved about my 83 or 85. I forget if it was 83 or 85 Volvo. That thing was a tank. I loved it.
When I had my Charger back in the day, I never feared about being in a car with an accident in that car because even though it only had a lap belt, I was like, there's like 9,000 miles of metal in front of me. I have nothing to worry about.
Oh, the lap belt. Oh my God.
I can't believe they used to not use shoulder.
I can't.
What's used to be a center seat.
What's more amazing to me about all of that shit is that my parents allowed me to not only purchase a car with a lap belt, but only drive around with a lap belt.
Oh, yeah. No, my Volvo had a center seat in the front seat. So you could fit 3 people in the front seat.
It was like a bench seat, right?
It was sort of.
Not
but
like
you had
bucket seats.
But you had a belt. You just had a lap belt for the center seat. Yeah. And
it's very rare you're gonna have someone sitting. That sucks if you have to squeeze someone in the center of the front. Jesus Christ.
That's true.
Well,
my favorite memories of high school was not fitting everyone in the car. So.
Depending on the situation, you have to straddle the gear shifter, and there's a lot of man contact that happens.
You had an automatic, right?
Yeah, mine was on the
steering wheel automatic. Yeah, sure.
I'm just saying, I've been in like the front seat of a Ford Ranger. It's one solid bench with 3 seats, and if you sit in the center, you have to straddle the gear shifter because it's on the floor.
Yeah.
Wait, like a stick shift?
Yeah, a stick shift. Yeah.
No, just like even though it's on regular shift.
So the person driving is basically grabbing at your nuts every few seconds.
I mean, depending on who's driving, Jeff, I will welcome that.
Yeah, I bet.
I had a friend of mine who had that kind of truck, and I have sat I remember in high school sitting in the middle, and his hand just practically just like taking care of me while we're driving to our destination.
You have a chance between second and fourth gear of having some great man touching happening there.
Oh yeah, no, my favorite part was like every time for some reason he would not let. If it was the 2 of us, and for some reason there was a third person who was a lady, he would never let them sit in the middle. He's like, no, you got to sit on. You have to sit on Francis' lap. There's no other seat available. I'm sorry. And so he always made them sit on my lap while we drove places, and it was just like just intentionally. Yeah, he would
because he was trying to help wingman you.
Not, I guess it never. I mean, it wasn't like
because you would think he would want the lady to sit in the middle next to him, right, where he's shifting.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Like, all I know is that
why did the girl agree to this?
I don't know.
She likes you?
I have no idea. They were usually strangers. Women I've
is
never
there a
met.
back seat?
No, not these trucks. No, it was just a single.
Francis has a very inviting lap.
Well, that's what it is. It's
personal experience.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah.
It says, "Please sit here."
Well, I mean, that must have been great for you, right?
It was great for us. It was great for us both. Oh, you're talking about the girl.
No,
sorry.
I mean back with the girls. So did you have to try to control yourself?
I agree to both statements. Yeah. It was. Well, I mean, you're in high school, the wind blowing in a certain direction was enough for you to.
Yeah, that's true. Oh yeah.
Well, not quite high school, but listeners mate is talking about being in college with a 90 Subaru Legacy station wagon and being able to fit 9 people in it. That's a lot of people in one car.
Oh yeah, but it's those good old station wagons, man.
Yeah, those got phased out real fast.
Because once SUVs hit, they're like, nope, no more station wagons.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why.
Wood paneling on my cars again.
We're talking. I don't know how we got onto this, but whatever. It is conversation. It happened. But the whole reason.
Tech TV.
Well, yeah, I guess it was. But cars are technology, so it all fits. But the whole reason why we had Jeff come back is because we had to finish the second half of the TV. Well, as we found out, these are channels on PlutoTV. We're into old shit too.
Yeah.
But they put out a bracket thing. We did last week's bracket, or last week's half of the bracket. I don't remember who won. It's irrelevant at this point.
Twilight Zone.
Thanks.
Twilight Zone 1. Yep.
So this week we're going to do the right-hand side, and if I hit a couple buttons here, I can bring it up so everybody can see.
This is the good side of the bracket.
This is the good side. There is going to be a couple things that the first one. I mean, immediately we start off with an issue though, because one doesn't exist without the other. Let's just get into it. Cheers versus Frasier. As I stated, one doesn't exist without the other.
Oh yes, one. The character came from Cheers. That doesn't mean it could not have been created without Cheers, though.
Right, but it didn't happen that way.
I know, but I'm not. I don't say I don't. If that's the, I don't think that should be the only rule for. I don't know. If that's going to be your reason why Cheers is better. Because we could say that about a lot of shows, right? They don't exist without the other.
Fair. But actually, Frasier is better of these two.
Frasier.
shows.
Oh, I agree. I think Frasier is way better than Cheers, actually.
Everything Kelsey Grammer touches, I watch. So he's awesome.
Did you see oh God, is it Crime Plane or Money Plane?
Crime Plane? What a title.
Money Train?
So he plays a mobster who owns a plane where gambling happens, and a bunch of unsavory people get on this plane, and he is the bad guy in this movie.
Where is this on?
Oh my God! It was like it was like straight to video. It has one of the Baldwins, I think, in it.
I would buy Money Plane is a pretty good title. Crime Plane is a terrible title. But maybe that's it because it's a bad movie.
Well, that was the working title to Con Air.
Con Air's, yeah, Crime Plane. I'm gonna look up real quick because it's an awful movie. But he was in it. Did you see Boss? That was another movie or show that he was really big.
I don't believe.
You see
Boss.
I don't believe I've seen Boss. No. I mean, I'm not.
Periscope. Did you see a Periscope?
Down Periscope is one.
Down Periscope.
One of my fucking favorite shitty movie Sundays to watch on any day.
He's trying to bring back Frasier. Frasier's supposed to come back minus Niles, I think.
Oh, well.
Minus Niles.
Yeah, because the guy. I don't think he wants to come back. The guy who played Niles.
He's actually from my area. That actor, David Hyde Pierce, I think.
David Hyde Pierce. Thank you. Yeah.
Tammy and Liz may both vote for Cheers over Frasier, by the way.
All right. Well, here, let me argue for Cheers, I guess. So I recently watched the first season of Cheers, and it holds up pretty well. It has a lot of actors that you get in like other shows that you see later on. It has the dude from Night Court in it as Harry the not the Henderson, whatever his name was, but Harry the Hat. His name was Harry the Hat. And he would
he becomes the judge.
He becomes the judge in Night Court. There's Woody Harrelson has a start there, right? Like all these actors like kind of get their start in this show, and it holds up really well. Like it's great for like a single location kind of show where you don't need to. It feels a little timeless. Also, in Spain, there's a little town called Toledo, And on Toledo, in the town of Toledo, there's a street called Toledo, Ohio. And on the street called Toledo, Ohio, is a restaurant called Cheers, and it's the actual Cheers logo. It's just like a recreation of Cheers in like the weirdest place. This random island in Spain, or this random town in Spain called Toledo, that has nothing to do with Ohio, but because Toledo, Ohio exists, they have to have a street called Toledo, Ohio. I thought it was really funny, but it's dumb anyway. So that's why Cheers should win. But I still think Frasier's better.
I mean, wow! So you're really voting for Frasier?
I think Frasier's better. I like Frasier.
I liked Cheers when I was younger.
Yeah.
But going back, I don't know, man. It just doesn't hold up as well. First off, one of the greatest theme songs ever. Great theme song.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. It just doesn't hold. The characters are just too annoying and unlikable to me. Too many of them on Cheers. I mean, Frasier characters certainly have their faults too, right? I don't know. I think I just like them a lot better. The characters on.
It's so funny that the characters he did, I found them charming, right? Like I found the Cheers cast charming because it's so their level of annoying. Yeah, well, their level of annoying isn't to the like. It's them really just trying to fit into this bar where they're just all friends with each other. Some weird, just because they drink together, they're all friends, right? Everyone shouting out Norm, or everyone like getting is it Carla? I think his name.
Carla she's the one who she was just unpleasant to everyone.
She was unpleasant to everyone, but that's what that's why people found her endearing, right? Like people still liked her because I know you
obnoxious.
Well, sure. I mean,
yeah.
But what tickles one annoys another.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just stuff like that I'm like, okay, I get it, right? And Ted Danson, I don't know, he's really charismatic. Like he was super charming on that show. I'm like, all right, that's cool. Like he's, you just like the guy the moment you see him on screen. So I don't know, but Frasier's still better because Kelsey Grammer.
I think Frasier's a lot funnier too.
Yeah, that whole cast is really fun, and I don't know, it's heartwarming too, right?
The neuroticism that's in Frasier aligns a lot better with me.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense, like it's just
it does.
Yeah, it's just like you're saying, the characters, the situations. I don't know. Frasier was always my favorite character in that bar, anyway.
So okay, well, thank you, Puma. By the way, Puma said it was Money Plane.
It has a Riff Tracks commentary.
Yeah. Oh my God, Money Plane. Oh man. So bad.
Play the Horrible Gamers is watching. Just tune in. Thanks.
Thank you.
His brother was so funny too. Yeah, we were talking about David Hyde Pierce. He was very funny.
You're not wrong. And that's the thing, right? Like all of them they're pretty funny. Okay, look. Sorry, those who voted for Cheers, but Frasier. I think Frasier wins. And Frasier's is a '90s show too. Like so that's in our ballpark of like things that we would be. More into.
I mean,
I was super into 80s shows too, man. Like I love the 80s. It's my favorite decade, so I'm fine with the 80s.
Sure, as am I. And I wasn't aware of Frasier until I became aware of Cheers.
Oh, and is that weird kind of like their accents that are like kind of pseudo-European, but just like posh? I don't know, I just love it. Yeah, and Frasier, like it's just so funny when the dad is so he's a cop, he's a beat cop, and then the sons is just like you have that sophisticated lilt to their voice, and it's like, oh God.
Well, because that was part of the conflict, right?
And Daphne's adorable, and like
I loved Roz, man, so much.
Roz was great, appropriately sarcastic, Yeah, I don't know, it's good.
Yeah. Arla Roll says Greg says he just watched Frasier for the first time about 2 years ago.
Oh, did you love it or hate it? Did you watch it or did you love watch it?
Does he love watch anything?
He does. I think he watched Picard season 3.
Oh, that's true. By the way, what he says, Listermate said Cheers was a holodeck program for the Federation. Did Star Trek ever do like a thing about spoof on Cheers? They didn't, right? I mean, they had like the Paris bar and Voyager, but
I don't think they did if they did, I didn't recognize it. If they did,
All right.
All right, well, on to
Frasier's awesome.
Frasier wins there. So on to the next one. I Love Lucy and the Jeffersons. Somebody else can start this one.
Oh, I just want to say I'm so sorry, Greg, that you just watched Star Trek 5. So sorry.
Better than Star Trek 1.
Oh, wait, do you really think it's better than 1?
The motionless picture? Yeah.
I mean, okay, it is not good, but 5 is for me is the worst.
That's the Shatner directed one too.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Wait, five's the one where they get the whales, right?
That's 4.
No, that's 4. That's the best one ever.
Okay, 4 is my favorite because they're just walking around Universal Studios, and that's
4 is
it.
the best. Yes, I'm with you. 5 is not that. 5 is completely.
Okay.
5 is when they
God or something.
Find God, yeah.
Yes.
What does God need a starship for?
Yeah, apparently it doesn't even register on my brain, so I either never saw it or didn't care.
No. Oh, look at that.
Greg likes 5 more than 1. 4 is probably the best, or 2, hard to decide. 2 and 4, yes, I agree. Or a lot of people pick either one of those. By the way, Listener's Mate says a lot of the actors from Star Trek were on Cheers before they went on to Star Trek as guest stars.
Oh,
interesting.
Yeah, I can see some of those. Yeah. But yes, we're moving on now to I Love Lucy and the Jeffersons.
Are we moving on up?
Moving on up. That's another good theme song, right? A lot of good theme songs, though. 80s and 90s, man, great theme songs.
There, I got it out there.
To the east side, yeah.
Yeah. So it just so Francis gets them.
Point.
Okay.
Oh, thank you.
Are you doing the Chris Hardwick points?
Yeah, that's
what that was.
Midnight.
That's what that was. Yeah.
That's a show I love too.
Anyway,
so both good shows, but I gotta go with I Love Lucy on this one. I mean, that's like one of the most classic, right, sitcoms ever. It was very funny. Obviously, Lucille Ball is a gifted physical comedian. I mean, Jefferson's was cool, but I don't know. I didn't love it, So I'm going with Lucy on this one.
Fair. Francis.
Thank you, Lucille Ball, for greenlighting Star Trek.
That's true. And Three's Company.
So I've mentioned this before, maybe in other shows, but I'll mention it here. My sister and I used to watch the first 10 seconds of a Lucy episode and know exactly what the episode was going to be about. We saw it so often. We watched it constantly, never stopping. We even watched the movies. Like there were like movies that not the Lucy movies, but like Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz did movies.
As different characters.
As different characters, and they were awful. They were terrible movies because it didn't have.
There's no money plane.
No, but there's like I think it's like the longest trailer or something like that. I think it's called, and it's them in a camper van, like a RV.
Oh, do you mean the longest
traveling.
Trailer as in the RV is literally long?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
At first I thought you meant the trailer, like the preview, was the longest ever.
Which is why it's a terrible title for a movie.
Right.
But yeah, their movies suck, but their show was amazing, and I think that I watched a lot of Jeffersons. I remember the Jeffersons very clearly in my head. I watched it with Benson, and I watched it with all of these other different strokes, things like that. When really there was a lot of black television out in like the late 80s, early 90s, and it was really accessible, and they had 227 and all that stuff. Like they were these shows that yeah like there was these shows that just kept just building and building, and they were funny and they were a lot of fun. But you're right, Lucy just in physical comedy and kind of just like people wanting to emulate someone and being kind of like a female lead in a world that didn't have a lot of female leads. It really stood out. So yeah, I Love Lucy, I think, wins for me.
I will agree on everything you guys said with I Love Lucy. If there's two channels and one's Jeffersons, one's I Love Lucy, I'm watching I Love Lucy for the majority of the day. I'm going to tune in and see what's happening over there in the Jeffersons. I watched it mostly at babysitters' houses. It wasn't really something that I chose necessarily to watch at home. And it's not because of anything.
And there were midday shows too. Yeah.
It was, I'm stuck here at the babysitter's house waiting for the parents to come pick us up. And after the last cartoon is on, the Jeffersons come on. So it's 9,000 degrees outside. So I'm going to watch the Jeffersons.
Hey, it's the reason why I watched Three's Company. It was the thing that happened right at 5 o'clock when the cartoon stopped playing. Mm-hmm. You got Jack Tripper, just and Mr. Furley.
Yeah, I should have put on this list because there's a Three's Company channel I watch all the time on Pluto.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
And listeners, mate, I actually do think there is an Andy Griffith channel on Pluto, so it could have been not part of this poll.
Yeah, it's just not part of this bracket thing that they did.
Yeah. There's a lot of channels, though.
Yeah, this isn't just all of Pluto's channels, but just a selection, I guess. But no,
Greg mentions I Dream of Jeannie and Bewitched, by the way, as other female leads back in the day.
Oh,
that's true. You're right. That's a good point.
Which one wiggles her nose?
Samantha from Bewitched.
Yeah.
That's the one with the fun.
Jeannie does this and does the head.
Okay, yeah. So usually when I leave in the mornings, there's a TV that's pretty much always on in this house. And most mornings when I leave, Bewitched is on. So I'm always seeing bits and pieces of an episode. I'm like, oh, I kind of remember this, or what fucking character is this going on right now? I'm so confused sometimes. There's there's a Samantha clone, or like an evil one, but she didn't have a goatee. Yeah. You know, she just looks different. She has like a wig or something.
It's not a mirror universe.
No,
okay.
And then there's some crazy aunt or grandma or something, and who keeps messing up her spells. Like I see this stuff just kind of literally in passing as I walk through a room to go to the front door. But that's an aside to nothing. But over these two, it's I Love Lucy. I mean,
yes,
I Love Lucy has for me the more memorable episodes. There is no Vitamina Vegemin equivalent to the Jeffersons. Maybe there is, and I'm not aware of what that is.
Maybe there is, yeah.
Right, but I'm not aware of what that is. So yeah, I Love Lucy just rules that one. Plus, it was awesome that she greenlit Star Trek. And if you go back and watch I Love Lucy episodes, and you see scenes that Desi isn't in, you can hear him busting his fucking nuts on the fucking sides of the stage, laughing his ass off to whatever's happening currently in the scene that he's not a part of. I love that show. Talk about being filmed in front of a live studio audience. That literally,
the good old days,
literally was. So, yeah,
you know what? I feel like we don't really get that kind of humor anymore. Like what I think of her, and I think of John Ritter from Three's Company as the two of the most gifted physical comedians. I mean, obviously you can go back further to Buster Keaton and stuff like that, Charlie Chaplin, but I don't know. I feel like, right, this has been quite a while, I feel like, right, since most people don't do that anymore, right? That's not like the way, well, first off, it's hard to get comedies in general, I feel, nowadays, but I guess, I don't know. What do you guys think? I feel like there's not many physical comedians anymore.
I think Urkel was the last.
I mean, well, and Jackie Chan,
right, but I mean,
yeah.
But even Jackie hasn't had a fucking job in like 15 years.
He does. No, that's not true. And Francis says he has a movie this year coming out, right? About a horse.
Yeah, about a horse. I forget. It's called Right On.
When did Karate Kid come out?
No, but actually, he was in a movie with Pierce Brosnan like 4 years ago.
Yes, The Foreigner. That's a good one. That's a good movie.
Well, then that blows my shit out of the water.
Well, but it's not American made like Karate Kid was. Like these are all because The Foreigner was a UK or
his best
Irish.
movies are not American movies.
Yeah,
that is very true. I mean,
aren't they doing another Rush Hour though? I mean, Tucker.
Rush Hour 4 is in development.
And it's been in development for years because the last I heard, Jackie said this movie would have already been made if Chris didn't want more money.
Well, Chris Tucker was just an heir, so he's back again. So I feel like maybe it's going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, he was great in Air. Yeah, he was
really cool.
Yeah.
Serena was the Samantha's evil twin.
And Greg says
Ooh.
slapstick and physical comedy is dead, and I wish it comes. I hope it comes back though.
Well, I think it comes in the movie, right? It shows up in the forms of those Jackie Chan movies. It shows up in the form of
We don't really
those.
get
Yeah, I know, but I
like
mean,
those kind of stuff anymore, right? Either.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
Kung Pao.
No,
Kung Pao was like the last like comedy
Well,
wushu
okay,
flick.
whoa. Josh, I think you and I are the only two people who love Kung Pao. Okay.
No, I feel like I'm the only one who hates it because tons of people I talk to love Kung Pao.
No, it was funny. Most people I know hate Kung Pao.
Oh.
I'm like, I feel like I'm one of the very.
we
few
gotta
people.
like switch people we're talking to. I'll send the Glovers to you. You send the haters to me.
Yeah.
Well, see, and then Greg thinks it's funny, so
There you go.
exactly.
Yeah.
Woo, woo, woo.
Yeah, it's. I mean, like, I screened it for my theater when it came out, and I didn't do my job because I was just laughing the entire time. I did not do my job.
I
did
rented
not
it.
properly screen the movie.
I rented it on a whim because somebody said it was stupid and something I would enjoy, and I went, all right, cool. My girlfriend at the time didn't even make it through the beginning of the movie.
Again, it's not. It's a very specific kind of humor.
Like when we got to the
it's a very
stomach
specific
plug
humor.
part, she was just like, "What are you watching?" I'm like, "A guy that just got his stomach plug punched out. This is amazing."
Oh, and she ended up liking it.
No, she
Oh.
left me.
Oh, she left. It's like if there's a movie worth breaking up over, it's Kung Pao.
Yeah. All right.
Oh man.
So next on the list, Sabrina the Teenage Witch versus other teenage witches in the form of Charmed. I'll be honest, I never watched Charmed. Sabrina was awesome, and it had a talking cat, and it also had the one comedian lady that's still come on, help me out. She's still she's still doing comedy. It's on the it's on the tip of my tongue. Bleh. It's the aunt, the younger of Sabrina's two aunts.
I don't remember her name.
But the show was awesome. It was not geared for me, but I found it just enduring and fun, and like it helped solidify my love for not good TV and movies. You know,
It's so fine. It's good TV.
No. But what I'm saying, like, just like
Caroline Rhea.
That's it. Yeah,
Caroline Ray.
Caroline Ray. That's it. I mean, she has her own comedy clubs. She still does stand up. Or she owned a club, I think, or partly owned a club. But either way, like Melissa Joan Hart was awesome and quirky, and the other characters on the show. Jeff hated it so much he left again, and
I should hold you back.
It's just Charmed was just never on my list of shows to watch. I don't know.
Well, I can appreciate that.
It
was a CW show, so I get you. It was a WB show.
Yeah,
WB before CW.
You're right. It just it never appealed to me. We had Buffy.
Ginger's here.
Ginger's
Hi, Ginger.
I mean, I had Buffy, and then you had Sabrina. I didn't need a pack of witches.
You're like, I got my witch, I got my vampire hunter, good enough.
Yeah, I'm good to go.
Done. Stamp it.
Greg says whichever one has the black cat with catatube, so that is Sabrina.
Yes.
Talking about. So I never really watched either. I didn't get into either of these shows. I was aware of both of them. Maybe see some clips. So Charm does have 3 actresses I like, and particularly one of them, Holly McPeak, I feel is always the one who gets short shrift. I actually like her quite a bit from Picket Fences, actually, a show before she was on. Which I feel like no one talks about that, but that was a really awesome show. Anyway, but even with all that, I'm going to go with Sabrina just because it has Salem the talking cat, who's cute.
Right.
It was. I mean, anytime there's animatronics on TV, you have to go with that because that's puppetry.
I'm sure both shows like lasted the same amount of time. I think they both were like 7 or 8 seasons. Like they lasted a really long time. Charmed actually went through a couple of changes with their characters.
Yes, Shannon Doherty left.
Shannon Doherty left
first, I think, right, and then Rose McGowan came in, I think, right.
She came in, yeah. She was the replacement.
Did Holly and,
they,
Alyssa Milano stay? What was the
yes,
right?
yeah. But then they rebooted it, and then nobody watched the reboot.
Is the reboot over with already? Right?
I'm pretty sure it's over. I mean, I haven't heard anything about it. So, yeah. So
I think it had more than a season. I think it had a couple seasons or something.
It probably did, yeah. Look, it was another CW show, so it probably lasted a little longer than it probably should have.
No,
besides, it
lasted longer than it would have if it was on Fox.
That's true. Well, Fox,
that's not this kind of not this kind of podcast. Moving
on. Not yet, at least. At some point, it will be.
It might be.
Greg's wife Rena though liked Charm, so one vote for Charm. There you go. At least. Well, wait, Francis, what is your vote though?
It'll probably have to be Sabrina because I did watch a lot of Sabrina. I did watch it. I thought it was, it's quirky, it's fun. It was a Saturday. It became a Saturday morning staple. Actually, it used to go on after Saturday morning cartoons. They would play Sabrina the Teenage Witch,
which also became a cartoon as well.
It also became a cartoon as well. Yes, and the intro song is an animated version of Sabrina. Because it was comic book first, right? So they're trying to go to that comic book origin. So yeah, I would give my love to Sabrina the Teenage Witch, mostly because it turned into they turned it into the reboot that did pretty well.
Yeah, but Jesus Christ, what a fucking completely different. Well, like with fucking Riverdale, right? Take any teenage person from the 90s, let's make it super dark and ridiculous.
That's true.
Even though Riverdale didn't exist ever as a show, right? Like Archie never was a
Sorry. So I'm just taking from the Archie comics, right?
Sure, but
which actually are way, way, way older.
What Archie comic was dark? They're not putting dark comics.
They are starting to do that, like a little bit, like Archie meeting vampires or some shit, I think.
But in the Reader's Digest?
No, I mean Archie was like the most, nice cherry apple pie type stuff you're gonna get, right? In the comics.
I can't believe Riverdale's still showing, by the way.
Is this last year, right?
I think it's last season, yeah. 121 episodes.
Holy shit.
Reach syndication.
Yeah.
All right, so next up on the list is going to be Star Trek versus MST3K or Mystery Science Theater 3000. That does not specify. Maybe it does with the logo of this Star Trek. I'm not deep into Star Trek to know which Star Trek they're talking about, so I'm going to just say your favorite Star Trek versus MST3K.
Okay. I'll give you a little, since this is a Pluto one and I watch a lot of Pluto. There are 2 Star Trek channels on Pluto. One is called Star Trek, and it shows the original Star Trek and Next Generation. The other one is called More Star Trek, and it shows Deep Space Nine and Voyager.
Oh, more Star Trek.
More. Okay.
They one channel there's too much Star Trek for just one Pluto channel.
Is this Star Trek? Is this logo Star Trek logo Next Gen, or is this generic?
This logo, I would say, this is the generic logo they use for all of Star Trek.
Okay. Yeah. So with that being the case, that's why I said your favorite Star Trek versus MST3K.
Okay. Well, this is easy. The Deep Space Nine and Next Gen are my 2 favorite shows of all time. So this is going to blow MST3K out of the water, which I think can be funny, but it's not even close.
And Puma exclamation pointing.
Holy shit! All right, well, good. I'm glad I got a vote.
So Puma's got love. Okay. MST. So thank you for that, Puma, and also for following, by the way, which you didn't mention earlier. But thanks for that as well.
Thank you.
I don't know. One is parody, making fun of bad sci-fi, right? And one is creating awesome sci-fi.
We got a second vote from Ginger, giving MST the love.
Oh wow! I did not expect so many. Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm an MST guy myself. Whether it's Godzilla or Santa versus the Martians, or Mitchell. MST version of Mitchell might be one of my favorite things on the planet. Check that out if you haven't seen it. So MST on this one, even though I loved Next Gen. Next Gen is my Star Trek. But I would much rather watch original MST. Not the new. I love Matt Myra. I love him, but no, give me Joe or Joel. Give me Joel, and I'm good. Joe was good. Joel was the shit.
Greg and Listener may both vote for Star Trek, by the way, in the chat. And Greg says probably wouldn't have MST without Star Trek boosting the genre.
So, we do, I guess. Jeff and I have done something similar to MST 3K by kind of, doing the Star Wars Christmas special and Ninja Turtles.
Ninja Turtles 2. Yeah, we watch along with the audience and comment on it. Yeah,
and comment on it, which is going to make this sound weird, because I don't understand the appeal of MST3K.
Interesting.
Like, I don't get it. I don't get why it's funny. Like, I don't actually understand it. Like,
no, I hear you, man. I don't fully. Well, I guess I kind of get it, but I don't think it's as amazing as a lot of people think it is.
I mean, I can appreciate that. So I think it's like its place in media. Like, I get why it exists and I get why it's popular in that sense, because it's like, hey, we're just like a more sophisticated Beavis and Butthead, right? Like, we're doing what Beavis and Butthead do, but we're doing it in kind of a more like goofier way, as opposed to like a stoner way, right? that kind of Beavis and Butthead do. So here's how we're going to do it, and they do the thing. Okay, fine, that's fine. But I don't understand. Anyway, the Star Trek. So I mean, I have to pick Star Trek because I don't understand. I don't really quite understand the appeal, and I've seen MST3K stuff, like older stuff, and I'm just like, okay, like, yeah, I get it. I guess, I think, like, I it's like I'm just so confused. I'm like really confused why this is funny.
I
don't understand.
My love for crappy movies, bad special effects, all that sort of stuff. MST hits all of those things where it's like something happens, and I have looked at my friends while watching a dumb movie and said some of the same shit that MST characters say, or the same kind of situations. And I found it at a very the right age, if you know what I'm saying, where it's just like I thought I found, this is back when it was Comedy Channel, but I thought I found I found gold. I stumbled onto something that nobody really knew about. I didn't even know what it was, and then you back out of the movie and it's all really crappy done, cardboard special effects. I'm like, I am in. What is this? It's sold.
Yeah. You'd think it'd be up my alley and having like Kung Pao, but apparently it's not up my alley.
It's not for everybody,
Yeah.
But
having watched The Room, having watched Troll 2, having watched all of these terrible movies, like, this should be up my alley. But yeah, you're right, listeners mate. I guess the fun is of the people who love to talk, maybe not talk during movies, but like to comment on movies, like to make fun of the movie that they're watching, and that's what they do, is they're making fun of the movie that they're watching. It's just that. Okay.
One thing I think the way we do, and other people though, like our audience can also join. They're part of the show, right? They're also commenting rather than just watching other people comment, which I like that.
Yeah.
One of the very first podcasts I ever did was a running commentary to Empire Strikes Back. Because we thought we were being edgy by doing a watch along or whatever, but it was messy.
They're putting Return of the Jedi back in theaters again.
They are.
I saw that in theaters. I took a picture of it. I'm so excited.
I am too. I'm definitely going to be having that watching Jedi and popcorn for breakfast one day for sure.
Is it a non-edited version, or is it the OG, or is it going to be
That's a good question.
That's a good question,
Yeah.
but
they
you
generally
know,
tend to refuse to show the original one, unfortunately,
Exactly.
which is really pissing me off.
now because it's the 40th anniversary, there's a glimmer. There's a glimmer of hope there. There's a glimmer of hope, but
That's all right. Like I said, I still own the original, so I'm all right.
Oh, word. I have them on
Laserdisc, right?
It's not a Laserdisc. It's a CED. Who made it? Philips,
What?
I think. Is RCA optical disc.
The fuck is that?
It looks like a record, but it's not.
Oh, I've seen those. Yeah,
It's not really vinyl, and it's not a laser disc. It was something in between.
Mm-hmm.
It had a special player. Just
Yes.
for
Yes.
that? Oh God.
It was. I have two of them actually. The players. It's fucking awesome.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they weigh about
All right, well,
9,000
good.
pounds a piece. It's awesome.
I'm sad that mini discs never caught on.
Oh, the Sony mini disc.
The Sony mini discs.
Well, that's why
that they
because it
like
was
popularized on. Oh, that's true. Well, the Sony Blu-ray was a Sony exclusive, and now Blu-ray is the norm. So,
Because at that time it was Blu-ray and HD DVD.
yeah,
The two competing.
and guess what porn picked?
But you're right. That is why Blu-ray pretty much won. Right?
That's why we got why we got VHS and not beta.
Over beta. Oh man!
So
and I saw
all these guys just gotta win over the porn industry.
Yeah.
Not that that doesn't matter anymore because, like I said, there are not going to be any future physical things from this point on for
That's
movies.
true. Yeah.
This is Blu-ray's the last one, folks.
not the Nintendo, the Nintendo, the GameCube.
Switch. GameCube.
The GameCube ran, on mini disc.
Yep.
There, Greg, and Nintendo. It's because Nintendo did collaborate with Sony for a while. The original PlayStation was supposed to be a Nintendo product.
Yes.
So, there's a picture of the prototype of the Nintendo PlayStation floating around. If you ever want to look at it, it's really crazy.
It could have been a thing.
So
everybody, if you ever want to know what the port on the bottom of your Super Nintendo is, that's what it was for.
So,
Craig, I agree. We need a law against making campy shows dark, which you said earlier.
oh yeah, well, yeah,
I'm looking for.
So now we're on to the next
Yeah.
round.
I
so
gotta-
it's
I-
Frasier versus I Love Lucy.
Thank you. I had to get back to the
Frasier.
picture.
This is a tough one, actually, for me at least.
I know this is gonna be it's not for me. I know which one I'm gonna pick.
I mean, I know where I'm going.
Because that's your favorite, one of your favorite shows of all time. I think the one you're going to pick, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, yeah. Totally. I mean, I grew up on it.
I'll start between the two. I Love Lucy. Again, more memorable scenes, more memorable episodes. As much as I love Kelsey Grammer, I think I love Lucille Ball a little bit more.
Anytime I hear the word Kelsey Grammer, it reminds me of the Rush Hour blooper of Chris Tucker trying to say on the phone, because the line is, the guy's ransoming off the consulate's daughter, right, for money, and he says, "Who do you think you have, Chelsea Clinton?" But he kept saying other people's names, and one of which was Kelsey Grammer, and I just think, I don't know why, it always makes me chuckle when "Who do you think you got, Chelsea Grammer?" I'm like, oh, Chris Tucker, never change.
Well, but that, if they had Kelsey Grammer, he could probably be ransomed for a lot of money.
That's true.
I mean, could be. I don't think he'd get as much money as Danny DeVito, but
Hey, but if it was during Frasier time, they're like, oh, we got to make this last season of Frasier. We got to pay that money.
Gotta get that Frasier.
Rush Hour was 96, I think, 96 or 98.
98.
So it has to be 98, right? Because I think Rumble in the Bronx was 96. Yeah.
So you're going
most people's introduction to Jackie Chan, one of the worst Jackie Chan films ever.
How dare you? How dare you?
Francis loves that one, right?
I love Rumble in the Bronx.
I actually don't think it is one of the better ones, but it's still enjoyable.
I loved it.
It's not the better ones.
It's the first one I ever saw in a theater. I was there for it. I loved it. Had a great time. But Police Story 3 is a lot better.
Well,
Drunken Master.
Oh yeah.
Drunken Master 2 might be one of the greatest pieces of cinema ever.
Yep. I'm with you. I used to always list that one as my favorite Jackie Chan. That's still up there.
Just a word of advice for everybody out there: do not get the version that's streamable on Amazon. It's got one of the worst voiceover tracks I've ever heard for anything ever. It's not Jackie does his own voiceovers for movies.
He always does his own. Yeah.
This is not Jackie. I don't know who the hell this is.
Oh shit. Okay. You mean when
So-
they retitled The Legend of Drunken Master?
You can actually get Drunken Master 2 on Amazon Prime, not The Legend of Drunken Master. That is also available.
Well, but that is Drunken Master 2, The Legend of Drunken Master.
The
They just
Legend
called it
of
that.
Drunken Master is the American name.
Yeah,
And
that's the American name for
through
Drunken
Touchstone or fucking Lionsgate, whoever put it out. But you can actually,
Lionsgate, because Lionsgate always does that.
right. But you can actually get Drunken Master 2, the non-American version,
Americanized version.
but it is.
But it's the same. It's the same movie.
It's the same movie,
something that's different.
but that has all the scenes they took out of Legend of Drunken Master
I didn't know
for.
they took scenes out.
Oh yeah, there's quite a number of scenes, and they changed the story.
Well, I had seen it before it ever came over here. So
But yeah, but Jackie Chan's not on this list.
There's Who Am I? There's the Twin Dragons.
Who Am I is pretty
there's-
damn good. I like
Operation
that
Condor, Project A, 1 and 2.
Condor.
one. Yeah. Then
There's
there's
the one
that.
where
There's that one he
Which
did
one?
with Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Oh, the tuxedo.
The tuxedo, that's
And
terrible.
Then
I
there's
know.
the one he did with
Jennifer
oh
Lonnie,
God, yeah, the medallion.
that's also terrible.
He did. I mean, hey, he did Around the World in 80 Days
That's good.
Uh,
I like that.
with Steve
But
Coogan.
just go back
and
to
then-
his Hong Kong movies, man. That's all the good
Yeah.
stuff. All the police stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
But,
Yeah.
but
All right.
Anyway, who won?
Victor says different kind of comedy. Lucy physical, Frasier intellectual. That's true.
That's true. That's true.
Anyway, so I might actually like Frasier better, but I think I probably do have to give it to Lucy just because of how important that show was. I feel to TV and
Yeah.
what it did.
All right.
All right.
I'm
Well,
assuming
Yeah,
you do
I
the
feel
same
like-
thing.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah, Lucy, I think has to win it out. Yeah, for sure.
then I believe it was Sabrina and Star Trek. Did we have more?
That's
for
so
Star
unfair. So unfair.
Right.
'Cause
I mean, it doesn't matter
Sabrina's-
if it's Sabrina and MST or Sabrina and Star Trek. It's not really fair.
that's true.
Well,
Well,
that's
I-
the way the bracket is. You just got to argue
Yeah.
what you get, you know?
Yep.
Yeah.
Star Trek all
I
the
don't.
way, obviously.
Yeah. Star
Yeah.
Trek for sure.
Yeah.
I'm definitely
this
gonna.
was
Hello,
a tough-
Chaz.
I'm definitely going to
Oh,
sit
hey,
down
Chaz.
and watch a lot more episodes of Next Gen than I am going to be able to watch in a row of Sabrina
That's true.
at
Unless
this
it's,
at this age.
Yeah. Unless it's the movie Sabrina, and then I would not watch any of it either because I don't know if I like Sabrina the movie.
Mm.
No worries, Chaz. You're just in time for the kind of the finals. Go get on the brackets coming into here.
Yep.
Yeah, this was a tough one. Now this one's a tough one. Now I found the tough one.
I
I'm
Love
not
Lucy
sure
and
this
Star
movie-
Trek, right?
I Love Lucy
Yeah,
and
that's
Star
hard.
Trek.
Particularly because Sher Studio did Star Trek. Right? So,
Right.
One cannot exist without the other, right? Like with the Cheers and Frasier thing,
Right.
right? One cannot exist without the other.
For me,
I mean, for me,
I gotta go with I Love Lucy again on this
Okay.
one. I'm definitely going to be a lot more apt to watch a lot more of those episodes in a row than I am to sit down and watch Star Trek.
Greg yells Khan multiple times in the chat. For Star Trek. I'm
yeah.
definitely going for Star Trek. Again, this is my favorite TV thing of all time, the Star Trek universe. Not all the Star Treks, but Next Gen, DS9, some of the other ones. This is what I used to watch I could just watch the whole, seasons. I would go for the seasons again and again. I can watch Next Gen episodes a million times or DS9 episodes, so Star Trek for me all the way.
Okay, you got a
this is
couple.
tough, so
There's a
tough,
couple,
because-
obviously a couple votes in the chat for Star Trek. So I'm losing this one so far,
Totally.
which is fine. That's
Well,
okay.
I don't know. France could go either way.
That's true. And it is true because I love both kind of like for very different reasons. I love both a lot. And I can watch both a lot. And I have watched both a lot. These are probably my two most watched shows is Star Trek Next Generation.
I would agree with that as well. Totally.
Yeah. Like these are the two things I've watched so often that like I have my own personal memes for both. If I really, hunker down and like make memes out of them, I have my memes for both. That's how much I love them. Oh my God.
And look,
I feel like
the chat's all Trek so far.
Yep. And did Desi Arnaz ever give you shit on stage in front of a whole bunch of people?
I don't know why. First off, hold on. He says, "Josh, you Klingon bastard, you killed my son." I don't know why he said that.
Well, he's like acting like Kirk, right?
Yeah, right.
Oh.
And also,
like Josh is the Klingon who.
Sorry, Greg, that got flagged because apparently "bastard" is just too much for Twitch to handle. But we cleared it.
I had to clear it. Yeah. But oh my God, that's so funny. Anyway, jeez,
decide what is it going to be?
I
folks?
know. I don't know.
This is the hardest decision Francis has ever made.
I know.
It kind of is because I'm like I love both so much. You know.
Since you can just let the chat decide if you want. Since.
Well, yeah. You know what? Okay. Well, so far,
if you really can't make a decision.
It's like choosing it's like choosing a child I have to throw into the pit, into
Star Trek for me, Lucy for Josh, right? So it's 1-1 right now.
Yeah, and I would be the tiebreaker. And the thing is, again, I love both like immensely. If I was given that choice to get rid of one, I'd be like, no, I pick neither because I don't want I want both of them to exist equally. Right? Like I don't want.
I Love Lucy had a lot of effect, but you don't have I Love Lucy convention. Just saying.
That's what I was.
They do.
That's what I started snickering and laughing. I mean, I'm sure there are, but you don't fucking hear about them.
But you have a million Star Trek conventions.
When's the last time the daughter of Lucille Ball, which I believe her name is Lucille Ball, when's the last time she came out, or when has Lil Desi come out in Babalooed anywhere?
That's not the point, though. I don't think, right? Like that's not necessarily the point.
No. I mean, the conventions is not really.
But
it doesn't have to mean how much you like it, but
I'm just
shows
saying.
how much the cultural impact.
I did play Babaloo at work one day, though. People were like, "What in the fuck is this?" I'm like, "Don't worry about it."
It is also it's also one of my favorite whose line is it anyway jokes when Colin Mockery says he tries to admit he doesn't say Babaloo, he says something else to Ryan, and it's one of the very few times that Ryan breaks and just starts laughing and cannot control his laughter over Colin and making fun of a Desi Arnaz Babaloo reference. So look, I mean, sorry gang, I think I have to say this, but I think I have to pick I Love Lucy. I don't know if I have a choice.
Oh, he did it!
I don't think I have a
my
choice.
Star Trek got defeated.
I love Star Trek so much.
and Greg says that he's gonna make a short of this, and he's gonna be hating on you.
Oh, you're gonna watch it 5 times. Credit YouTube for hating on you. You got to do it now, Greg.
Yeah, you have to do it now. Because
actually, you should do that because anything that gets this shit out to a bigger audience, yes, please do. In fact, everybody go back and find your favorite part of this and make a clip of it and put it out there.
You know what's also interesting? There is nothing we talk about more in SGU than Star Trek every single episode.
That's true.
But he still didn't say Star Trek. He still fixed I Love Lucy.
Well, because I don't think. I mean,
I know. Our show is not really Lucy doesn't really come up a lot on our show. Yeah,
it's not niche. I met someone once where like I would do obscure I Love Lucy references, and they got it, and it just made my heart like a million times bigger when I would just say random, like really just random I Love Lucy stuff. And they're like, yes. Oh, they practically just like creamed their pants, just knowing somebody else understood, like an I Love Lucy reference. Like,
okay,
yes.
So Josh jerks people off over cars. You do it over I Love Lucy.
Yeah.
And I guess I do it over Star Trek.
And you do it over. Yeah, I mean, it's it's beneficial to everybody.
You and 90% of the SGU audience is over Star Trek.
We're all like,
Right.
we're all jerking each other off. Oh, you're in the corner with one person and Lucy.
Lucy.
Hey, before we do the finals, can I give for Francis and I, since this happened today? This just came out today.
Oh, jeez. Oh, yeah. Look at that.
Tales of Monstrosity, Monsters, Myths, and Miscreants, our anthology.
Is that
today.
the actual physical real book?
Yeah, I got author copy sent.
Oh, look at
this
it!
is the actual copy you're gonna get if you order it.
I have to talk to Mark tomorrow.
There's our names.
Mine is right in the middle, as always. As it should be, right in the center.
Well,
but anyway, you can get this books2read.com/Tales of Monstrosity. That's the title. Get
Books number 2 read.
Yes, their favorite. Yeah. Maybe you can put in the chat, Francis, that link.
Yeah.
Your favorite bookseller of your choice: Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Kobo, etc. You can order ebook or paperback. We appreciate it, though, if you can support us. We would love it. A lot of great authors, Marks, Marissa Wolf, are part of this as well.
But since we
let's see if it'll let me do it, because it doesn't normally let.
Oh yeah, it doesn't usually let links go through. But you are a moderator.
I don't know if that matters. Yes, it works.
Yeah, it went through. Yeah.
Okay, good, as a moderator.
Since we are kind of at that point of things, Jeff, just to remind everybody, since you were here last episode, but for the people that may not have been here for the last episode, what the hell do you do over there at Super Geeked Up?
Well, Francis and I host Super Geeked Up, a weekly geeky pop culture show. We talk geeky topics, play geek-themed improv games like the aforementioned Whose Line Is It Anyway? I like using the word aforementioned. Thank you, Francis, for mentioning that earlier. And so we have a lot of fun with our audience, a live audience. A bunch of them are in the chat right now, actually. Thank you guys for supporting.
Thank you.
Yeah, so they give us suggestions. We play goofy games, chat about Star Trek and other geeky stuff. And yeah, we have a lot of fun. We do it Wednesdays, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. We just started our new season last week, actually. So, and we have a bunch of the authors on actually tomorrow on our show from that anthology. Marks, Marissa, Sophia DeSantis, maybe John, if he can make it. Yeah, so we're having a lot of fun.
That's awesome. And congratulations. It looks shiny and new and awesome.
Thank you. Oh, and by the way, since Greg's in the chat, Art of the Roll, I do that Thursday nights. We play Star Wars role-playing game with Dungeons and Dragon rules, 10:30 Eastern is when that is on the Art of the Roll channel on Twitch and YouTube.
See, and
for
now
2 weeks in a row, you got 3 servings. 3 servings of Jeff Burns.
That's right. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
And now we're jerking each other off. See, this is what happens. This is great. Mm-hmm. So the finals, which is going to be last week. The winner of the left-hand side of the bracket was the Twilight Zone. And it's going to be, did we figure out who won here? Star Trek and I Love Lucy? I Love Lucy wins. So I Love Lucy versus the Twilight Zone. Go.
Well, that's a tough one. That is a tough one because they're both the same era. They're both classics.
Yep.
They're both kind of like what defined a genre of television.
Yeah.
Both
influential.
I think I'm gonna go I Love Lucy. I think because I watched more of that than Twilight Zone. I mean, they are both super influential. So I think I'm just gonna go with the one I just felt like I liked more and watched more. So I Love Lucy.
Yeah, I mean,
that's what it's about, right? Yeah,
it is what about. Yeah, it's, exactly.
Yeah, as much as there is, there's that thing on the wing, and I broke my glasses, and I'm stuck in a library. Those are the only 2 that I can pull off the top of my head. Twilight
there's
Zones.
the pig lady, the pigs, people with the regular looking lady. There's they were stuck in a box. They didn't know they were in a box, and they're stuck in a box.
I mean, of the 2, I have to go with Lucy, just because I watched more of that. My brain wasn't really ready for some sci-fi as a kid. I just wanted some simple humor, some people falling down, trying to stuff chocolate into orifices and parts of your body that you didn't think you could put chocolate. That kind of stuff is more my humor as a child.
didn't stick it up their ass or anything.
I know, he's turning into erotica. Jeez.
Hey,
They
man.
just tossed down their shirts.
I'm just saying, if you haven't seen the episode, that makes people want to see it.
Yeah, that's true. He was in a bank vault, not a library, Ginger says.
By the way,
go ahead.
I agree with Greg. He says I picked Star Trek. I also would if I had that choice, Greg. Listeners may chose the Twilight Zone all the way. And listeners may just bought the Kindle version of Tales of Monstrosity. Thank you very much.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
Oh, awesome.
And Greg also says, you jerk me, I jerk you, and cars jerk Josh.
They run into me. They don't.
Well, that's what the tailpipe is for.
Yeah, exactly.
I can pin this. I'm going to pin this.
There's a picture. There's a picture out there. It's you might.
I didn't know you could pin things, and that's cool.
For 20 minutes, I can.
Oh,
I'll manually unpin later, so I'll keep it up there indefinitely.
Word.
Yeah. Look. Just because. Look. Twilight. I mean, I'm gonna pick I Love Lucy. Doesn't matter. But you know, and it wins either way, whether I pick Twilight Zone or not. But let me just say that, you know, Twilight Zone had. Yeah, it was the kind of show that made you think, which was kind of nice. And there wasn't a lot of those types of shows back in the day. It was usually punching people to the moon or rubbing your head like this because you were confused about stuff, or wondering who's on first, and I don't know, is on third apparently.
That's still such a classic skit, though, man.
It is. That's a great one.
So like comedy was different, right? But there are very few shows that made you think. So that's why I will give a little love for that. But yes, I Love Lucy. No, it's the porn parody of I Love Lucy is I Glove Lucy. I don't know.
I think it's something with Josh and the chocolates and
Josh and the chocolate. Yeah.
Well, you know.
Let's just I Fuck Lucy. That's what it'd be.
Well, yeah.
I know that's
so.
on the nose, right? Yeah. I guess it's too.
Yeah. The parody is gone now. It's just a literal.
I Lost Lucy. How about
okay,
that?
I Lost Lucy. That works too. Yeah.
Would you have Star Trek without Twilight Zone? Greg says.
I Lust Lucy, starring Amarith.
Is that
because
a porn star?
Well, kind of.
And I would say yes, because Lost in Space existed as a sci-fi show before, back in that time.
Is Amarith one of those Twitch tub streamers?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. She was, and she was one of the last "quote unquote" celebrities to appear on G4 before it went away.
Oh, the new G4.
Yeah. After announcing they would never sexualize anyone on the show, they brought her in a bikini. For one of the episodes of Attack of the Show. And they're like, oh, well, there you go.
Well, there you go, yeah. So, yeah, I Love Lucy.
Oh,
what?
Grand Champion, right?
Grand Champion. I Love Lucy. Applause.
That's a worthy champion.
I don't know if I have applause. I do have applause.
Oh, yeah. Greg.
All right. I'm not going to play the whole clip.
What happened, Greg?
Greg, he said G4 killed itself. You missed our whole conversation, Greg. About
we had a whole
we had a huge conversation about that earlier in the
show. But yeah, that's everything. Thank you, PlutoTV, for existing and being into old shit too, just like us. For not really providing us with this bracket, but throwing it out there for the internet so we can grab it and use it. And I'll probably do it again, so you should sponsor us.
Yeah. You should sponsor us.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, why not? What are they going to say?
Thank you, listeners, made for reading the book while on the treadmill in elliptical stepper. That's a great idea.
You go.
Awesome. Yes.
Read this book
Go get the book that both of my guests here tonight have written parts in, and other people that are in the chat have written in, and friends of ours. I did not write anything in it because I'm not a writer, and nobody asked me. Because I'm not a writer.
You're not a writer, though.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. No, hell no. No, I'm a podcaster. But we are going to finish things up this week because 3 a.m. is approaching faster than I want it to. So, Jeff, where can people find you on the internets if they so desired?
supergeekedup.com and super geeked up pretty much everywhere else, including YouTube and Twitch and Twitter and all that good stuff. And yeah, do a lot of geeky content and gaming and all that good stuff.
Awesome. Francis.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, of course. Anytime you want to come and hang out and talk about PlutoTV's awesome TV brackets and amazing selection of channels, you can always come on. We don't have to talk about Pluto. We can talk about whatever. I'm just trying to get that sponsorship, Jeff.
You should. I want a Pluto sponsorship because I actually watch them a lot, man.
Because you're into old shit too.
I am. That's right. Josh, he's not from Ireland. He's he has to get up at 3 a.m.
Yeah,
I do.
He has an early morning.
The people of Colorado need their marijuana. Francis, where can people find you?
Go just look up at AKA the other guy on Twitter, Instagram. I don't do anything on the website right now because I have nothing to post out there. And plus,
yes, you
I'm
do.
Probably gonna get. Oh,
that
the book.
Lies, sir.
Especially since I should be posting the book.
Every time you pull the book up, you should be throwing out the website or like the title of the book, or just find some like not segue into talking about the book.
Look at the pin. Books2read.com/Tales of Monstrosity.
Yes,
definitely.
Yeah, Francis won't publish it when promote it, so you got to buy it. Help us out.
Yeah.
And just like Ginger's saying, you can watch this in post. You can download it. Yeah, I guess you have if you're listening to this on the podcast. But we're here all the time. Every Tuesday, we're here to hang out with you and everybody else. So you can do that. And thank you to everybody that's here live in the chat. Jeff, thank you for bringing all of your internet friends to my little show over here, because
Sure.
It makes my ego inflate. But you can find me at 303_ninja on the Twitters, 303ninja on the Instagram, Facebooks, places like that. You can call, email, and voicemail, or email and voicemail, whatever. Text and voicemail is what I meant to say. By calling 314-764-7631. It spells out POI Pod 1 because synergy, I tried to make it synergetic. You can email us at thepoipodcast@gmail.com. And I think that's everything. We're here every Tuesday around 7:30 to 7:45-ish. Somewhere in there. But we're here. And we'll be here next week. I don't have an ending, so we're just going to go. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Francis. Thank you to the people of Denver for not hitting me this week. I appreciate it. We're out of here. Bye.